It all started when the world went to hell. I was just an old man, living a simple life with my family. My beloved wife Mary, our two daughters, Sophie and Lily, and our golden retriever Buster. We'd been together through thick and thin, always relying on one another. But when the living dead began to rise, our love and bond were put to the ultimate test. The sky darkened as the first storm approached, the thunder roared, and the rain poured down like the tears of the heavens. I remember vividly how we'd been on the run for days, desperate to find a safe haven away from the hordes of the undead. Our journey took us through the dense woods, where we stumbled upon a seemingly abandoned house. As we approached the old wooden structure, the wind howled, and the branches of the trees swayed menacingly. I couldn't shake the feeling of dread that consumed me, but I pushed it aside. My family needed shelter, and we had no other choice. We entered the house, barricading the doors and windows. The fire crackled in the fireplace, providing some warmth in the cold, dark night. The storm outside raged on, and the relentless pounding of the rain soon gave way to another sound, the groans of the undead. They had found us. I could see the fear in my family's eyes, but I had to remain strong for them. I told them to stay put while I ventured outside to confront the nightmare that awaited me. The wind tore at my clothes and the rain soaked me to the bone as I faced the horde. I fought with everything I had, using any weapon I could find, but the odds were against me, and with every passing moment the undead grew in number. It was then that I realized the terrible truth. I would not be able to save my family. Heartbroken and defeated, I retreated to the house, bloodied and battered. I barricaded the door behind me, but the moans of the creatures outside haunted me. I knew it was only a matter of time before they broke through. As I returned to my family, I saw the tears in their eyes, reflecting my own pain. I held them close, whispering words of love and comfort, trying to give them strength for what was to come. We huddled together, the sounds of the storm and the undead blending into a terrifying symphony of despair. That fateful night, I lost everything. The creatures broke through our defenses, and I was forced to watch helplessly as my loved ones were torn apart. I fought to the very end, but there was no saving them. In a final act of desperation, I managed to escape the house, leaving behind the lifeless bodies of my family. I wandered through the storm, heartbroken and alone, eventually finding my way back to the house. The zombies had moved on, leaving only the memories of what was once my sanctuary. I now find myself trapped here, the horde outside like a constant reminder of my failure to protect the ones I loved. The darkness in my heart grows with each passing day, as the storm rages on outside. I am a broken man, haunted by the ghosts of my past. But I know that one day, my time will come, and when it does, I'll be ready to face the darkness, with the hope that I'll be reunited with my family in a place far away from this nightmare. I never thought I'd live to see the world fall apart. My best friend Emma and I were just two teenagers, full of dreams and plans for the future. But when the dead rose and started walking the earth, our lives changed forever. This is our story, the story of our survival. The day it all began, we were hanging out at our usual spot near the woods. We heard the first screams in the distance and saw the undead swarming the streets. Panicked, we ran as fast as we could, leaving behind our friends, our families, and the life we once knew. As we ventured deeper into the woods, we stumbled upon a seemingly abandoned house. The storm was raging outside, and we desperately needed shelter. The old wooden structure creaked and groaned under the force of the wind, but it was our only hope. We cautiously entered, searching for any signs of life. What we found was an old man, huddled by the fireplace. He seemed to be in deep pain, and there was a sadness in his eyes that I'll never forget. We listened to his story, as he told us about the loss of his family and his desperate fight against the undead. It was a harrowing tale, filled with darkness and despair. We could see the weight of his guilt and sorrow, but we also saw a glimmer of hope in his eyes. He had survived, just like us, and that meant there was still a chance. The old man warned us of the danger outside, urging us to remain in the house. But we knew that we couldn't stay hidden forever. As night fell, we made the difficult decision to seek refuge in the basement. It was a small, dark space, but it was our best chance at survival. As we huddled together in the cold, damp basement, we could hear the sounds of the storm and the distant groans of the undead. We knew the old man had ventured out, risking his life to protect us. We could hear the struggle, the desperation in his voice as he fought against the horde. And then, all was quiet. We stayed in the basement for days, surviving on scraps of food we had managed to scavenge. The storm eventually passed, and the groans of the undead faded into the distance. But the old man never returned. As we finally emerged from our hiding place, we found the house in shambles. There were traces of the struggle, and we knew that the old man had fought until the very end. He had sacrificed himself to save us two strangers, and we would never forget his bravery. Our journey had only just begun, and we knew that we would face countless dangers in this new, terrifying world. But we also knew that we would face them together, drawing strength from each other, and the memory of the old man who had shown us what it meant to truly fight for survival. I never could have imagined the nightmare that has become my reality. As a mother, my life had always been about providing love and protection for my children. But when the dead rose and began to walk the earth, the world as we knew it changed forever. This is my story, a story of loss, survival, and the love that binds us together. The day it all began, I was at home with my two young children, Lucy and Sam. My husband Mark was at work, and I had just finished preparing dinner. We heard the first screams and panic-stricken reports on the news, followed by an eerie silence. In that moment, I knew that our lives were about to change in unimaginable ways. As the undead began to swarm our neighborhood, I gathered my children close and barricaded the doors and windows. We hid in the attic, praying that we would remain unnoticed. The days turned to weeks, and we survived on whatever meager supplies we had managed to stockpile. The moans of the undead echoed through the walls, a constant reminder of the terror that lurked just outside our home. One fateful day, as I ventured out to gather supplies, I encountered a group of survivors. They spoke of a safe haven deep within the woods, where the undead had not yet reached. With hope in my heart, I returned to my children, determined to lead them to safety. We embarked on our perilous journey under the cover of darkness, navigating through abandoned streets and past countless horrors. Eventually, we found ourselves at the edge of the woods, where we met two teenagers, Jake and Emma. They too were seeking refuge, and we decided to join forces, finding strength in our shared determination to survive. As we ventured deeper into the woods, we came across an old, seemingly abandoned house. The storm outside was relentless, and we needed shelter more than ever. We entered cautiously, finding an old man, broken and mourning the loss of his family. As we listened to his harrowing tale, we couldn't help but feel a connection to him. We were all survivors, bound together by our shared experiences of loss and pain. The old man, sensing the danger that awaited us, urged us to hide in the basement. We knew that he was risking his life to protect us, and we silently prayed for his safety. As we huddled together in the dark, damp basement, we could hear the sounds of the storm and the distant groans of the undead. And then, there was silence. In the days that followed, we emerged from our hiding place to find the house had survived, but his bravery had given us the chance to live. We mourned his loss, vowing to honor his memory and never forget the sacrifices he had made for us. As we continued our journey through the woods, we faced countless challenges and horrors, but through it all, we remained united, our love for one another, and the memories of those we had lost serving as our guiding light. And as I looked into the eyes of my children, I saw the hope and resilience that would carry us through the darkest of days, and I knew that we would survive. I was once a man, just like any other. I had a family, a job, and a life that I cherished. But when the plague came, everything changed. My name is Tom, and this is my story. A story of a tormented soul trapped within the rotting shell of a creature I never wanted to become. When the infection took hold of me, I lost all control. My body twisted and decayed, becoming something unrecognizable. My mind shattered, leaving me trapped within the darkness, unable to escape my own monstrous form. Through the haze of my tortured existence, I became aware of a desperate struggle. An old man, strong and determined, fought against the endless waves of the undead, including myself. My shattered consciousness recognized the love he held for his family, and I could feel the pain that echoed through his heart as he tried to protect them. As we closed in on the man and his family, I tried with all my might to regain control of my body, to resist the overwhelming hunger that consumed me. But it was all in vain. I could only watch, trapped and helpless, as my own decaying hands tore through the flesh of the ones he loved. The storm raged outside as we moved through the house, leaving a trail of death and destruction in our wake. The old man fought with all his strength, but he could not save them. And as I witnessed the horror unfold, a part of me, the last remaining fragment of my humanity, wept in anguish. In the aftermath, as the horde moved on, I remained behind, bound to the house that had become a tomb for the family I had helped to destroy. The old man's grief was a mirror to my own, his loss a reflection of the life that had been stolen from me. Days turned to weeks, and I found myself trapped in a limbo between life and death. And then something unexpected happened. A group of survivors, a mother, her children, and 2 teenagers, sought refuge in the house. They were drawn together by their shared experiences of loss and pain, finding solace in each other's company. Through the fog of my existence, I watched them from a distance, unable to interact or communicate. And as I bore witness to their struggles, I felt a flicker of something deep within me, a glimmer of the humanity I had lost. It was faint, but it was there, and it stirred something inside me that had long been dormant. As the survivors moved on, I felt a change within me. I don't know if it was their presence or the love they shared, but something had shifted. It was as if their hope and determination had breathed new life into the tattered remnants of my soul, offering a chance for redemption. And so I made a choice. I would do everything in my power to protect these survivors, to atone for the horrors I had committed as one of the undead. I would fight against my own kind, using the monstrous strength that now belonged to me to save those who still had a chance to live. Never erase the pain and guilt that haunted me, but it was a start. And as I ventured into the darkness, I held on to the hope that one day I might find a way to free myself from this tormented existence and find peace at last. On that fateful stormy night, I knew I had to protect the other survivors who had sought refuge in my sanctuary. A mother, her children, and 2 teenagers, all clinging to hope in each other. I told them to stay put while I ventured outside to confront the nightmare that awaited me. The wind tore at my clothes, and the rain soaked me to the bone as I faced the horde. I fought with everything I had, using any weapon I could find. But the odds were against me, and with every passing moment, the undead grew in number. Just when I thought all hope was lost, I noticed something strange. Among the creatures that attacked me, there was one that seemed different. It was a zombie, just as decayed and twisted as the others, but its movements were more deliberate, more focused. As I fought on, I realized that this creature was fighting alongside me, protecting me from the onslaught. Though I was shocked and confused, I didn't have time to question the motives of this unlikely ally. Together we fought back against the horde, our combined strength holding them at bay. For a brief moment I felt a glimmer of hope, the possibility that we might somehow survive the night. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. As the battle raged on, I began to feel the weight of my age and the countless wounds I had sustained. My strength began to wane, and I knew that my time was running out. In my final moments, I looked into the eyes of the creature that had fought by my side, and I saw something there that I never thought I'd see in one of the undead humanity. It was faint, but it was there, and it gave me a sense of peace in the face of my own mortality. With my last breath, I whispered a prayer for the survivors I was leaving behind, entrusting their protection to the unlikely ally I had found in Tom. As the darkness closed in around me, I knew that my fight was over, but theirs would continue. In the end, I didn't die a hero, but I died fighting for the ones I loved, and the hope that they might live to see a better world. And as I slipped away, I took solace in the knowledge that, even in the darkest of times, there could still be moments of grace, courage, and redemption. April 20th, 2023. Wednesday, I think it is. Lost track of the date a few days back. Me and my siblings made it into this house. The storm started about half an hour ago. We were lucky enough to find this place yesterday after escaping that overrun town. We were lucky enough to escape with some supplies. God have mercy on us, and let our luck continue. Found a snack machine while at that town, and out of impulse I decided to break the glass to get all the snacks. The broken glass then alerted some of the dead ones, and soon they started surrounding us. Luckily I had an escape plan set out just in case this would happen. Found an old car in that town that still luckily functioned. Also had a decent amount of gas left. My baby brother and sisters were very lucky we got out in time. We decided to stop by this house and rest a couple of days. After a few days, I'd reckon I'd check out the highway near here and siphon as much gas as I can. I'm thinking about taking us to the West Coast. It's a long road trip, but I pray that we make it. These dead freaks started showing up right when the storm started. There's a whole herd of them moving around the house. Thank God these freaks didn't notice us. Even if they did, I reckon we can just hide out in the attic for a while. It's not like we'll be going thirsty or hungry anytime soon, thanks to the storm and all the food we have. Anyways, I think it's time I get some sleep. I gotta be strong for my siblings. Things haven't been the same ever since we lost our parents to the dead. They got teared to shreds right in front of our eyes. My parents have been good people their whole lives. I don't understand why God decided this is how they'd leave the world. I've never in my life seen or heard my dad scream until that day. Anyways, that's enough for now. My eyes will gauge themselves out if I don't get some rest right now. Hopefully these dead freaks will be gone by tomorrow morning. Sooner we leave this house that's in the middle of the damn woods, the better. I've been here for 7 days with my friend Nick Andy, and we're both starving. We found rats, but we are worried it's infected. We heard gunshots earlier, but it went quiet. This is the last piece of paper in the house. So it's the last message.